Hello, Mom and Dad Me World. So today we are going to be talking about something that has been very versatile that I have brought with me for a travel trip, and I thought it was going to be what I needed, and it was exactly what I needed, and that is this right here. So you see this right here. This is the Tamron 28-200, and this goes all the way down from f2.8 at the 28 to f5.6 all the way up at the 200 millimeters. So if you take a look at this, this does look pretty compact right here, but then if you do this, this is all the way out at the 200 millimeter right here. So right now we are recording on a Sony a7 IV with a 15 millimeter G lens. That is what you are viewing me on now. And we will soon switch to a 28 millimeter. So this 15 millimeter is probably the equivalent of around 22.5 millimeter, if I do believe, for full frame, but we will soon switch to this and we will get at the 28 millimeter f2.8. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview as to why I had brought this particular lens. So when we had gone out of country, I wanted to get some versatile shots, and I knew that if I brought just the prime, like I did bring our 28 millimeter f2 lens that I do really like, and we use that at night, but I even found that lens to be a little bit lacking because it is a little bit older lens, and the autofocus was not exactly what I had wanted it to be. But for the daytime, I wanted to bring this lens right here. So with 28 millimeter, we can get a pretty wide shot, but then we can zoom all the way in to a 200 millimeter. So think about having that 70 to 200 millimeter, which we had that 70 to 200 G Master Mark II lens. That was a phenomenal lens, and that was f2.8 all the way from 70 all the way to 200 millimeter. So we had got this lens instead, and I think we'd picked this lens up for about equivalent of $350 or so for this lens right here. But this lens also has a versatility. So instead of starting at the 70 millimeter, we are starting at 28 millimeter. So 28 to 70, 70 to 200. So this lens right here is replacing about two different lenses, but that is two different lenses that for travel, it is nice to have when you have two different lenses that you're replacing with one lens. It's just lighter on the camera bag. So right now we are going to switch over to the 28 to 200 Tamron, but we're going to do so at f2.8 and 28 millimeters. So I'll be right back. All right, Mom and Dad Meet World. So I am back, and this is the lens I was recording with right here. This is the 15 millimeter G lens right here. This is the Sony that was giving me a 22.5 millimeter point of view. Now you are actually seeing me on the Tamron lens right here, and I just want to show you. So I've got the camera on me. Hopefully you can see this. So take a look at that, just proof that I've got my camera person behind there, and this is the lens you're actually viewing me on. But we've got this Tamron 28 millimeter right here, f2.8, and you can see that there is a little bit of background blur. So I did have to move the camera back, just a few inches or so, maybe about 6 inches or so. Okay, maybe not that far, what my camera person is telling me, but yeah, you're viewing me on the Tamron at the 28 millimeter at f2.8, and hopefully we've got about the same amount of light coming in. So this lens right here, I do got to say, it is not an image stabilized lens. So when you are shooting up at that 200 millimeter or so, that you want to definitely shoot in great light, because you're only going to get down to f5.6. So make sure you've got enough light, or else your images will come out blurry. Just a little note on that end. And then also, with this being a 28 to 200, again, going up to that 200 millimeter range, you can definitively get zoomed in on whatever you're actually wanting to get a picture of or get a video of. That's that 200 millimeter range. That is a versatile zoom lens right there to get all the way in, zoomed all the way in at 200 millimeter. And this 28 millimeter, I've done many videos with this 28 millimeter at a picnic table in the park. So this lens right here proves that it is very versatile. I mean, I like this lens right here, but this is 22.5 millimeter. 22.5 millimeter is not bad. That is for your very wide angle, but 28 to 200, that is super duper versatile. So another thing, and I don't know if you've noticed it right here, but if I do put like this object right here in front of the lens, it should be focusing on this lens right now. And as you can see right here, and if you focus back towards me, you will notice there is very little focus breathing. So that is a good thing. So you'll notice that the lens between the focusing to the up close to the far, you don't see my frame, my point of view changing too often or too much. And then right here, I've got this lens about 6 or so, 7 inches or so away from the camera, and we are able to focus in on this lens, if I do believe that is correct. And so the minimum focus distance on this lens is about 7.5 inches, 7.5 inches to go all the way down to a 28 millimeter. That's actually not too bad. So that's another reason why I really like this lens, and it should be nice and sharp. So with the lens being sharp, it has a very good close focus distance of 7.5 inches at the 28 millimeter, and it's got little focus breathing. This lens really is a very versatile lens. Again, combine that 28 at the wide all the way to 200 at the telephoto, 200 millimeter. That is quite good. And then if you have like a Sony a7 IV like we're recording on here, and you are recording at say 4K 60, you're going to take all those figures, multiply that by 1.5 times, so all the way up to 300 millimeter telephoto, and that is at 4K 60. And that's pretty much all you're going to get, because 4K 60 with the Sony a7 IV does crop in 1.5 times, but you are getting that 60 frame per second. So I just wanted to share with you what I was using for our travel trip, because it was so versatile, and it was very versatile, and I just really wanted to have one lens to take with me all day. Yes, is the lens bigger? Yes, it is bigger. It is heavier than say this lens right here, this 15 millimeter G lens, but the versatility was well worth it to get the shots I did get. So I just wanted to share with you my experience on the Tamron 28 to 200 full frame lens that we are using on our Sony camera. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It really helps out our channel. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.